New Year. I'm Gabe from Our Simple Story, and you may notice that my backdrop, my usual backdrop of coffee talks, has changed a little bit. Normally I'm sitting on my back deck, and you know, right behind my house, but here I'm a little bit different. I'm out in the woods, and as you can see, there's a body of water straight down there, and that's Eli playing in it. And I've got some kayaks here. We are about to go on a trip. That's right. 2 months ago, we set out on a backyard to the ocean adventure, and it took us about 8.5 or 9 days to complete it. Today is the day we're going to set out on another backyard to the ocean adventure, but this time I'm leaving from my parents' backyard. So when you guys come into the live thing, just say hello or let me know that you can hear me okay. This is Noah, my oldest son, and he'll be going with me on this trip. But what I wanted to do in this coffee talk was maybe just go through my packing list of what we're about to bring. I think we're going to be on the water for maybe about 3 days. And I want to share with you guys what we bring, and maybe you can have a conversation with me and put some stuff in the comments, ask us questions about our YouTube channel, what we've been up to, what we're planning on doing this year. Just throw that in there and I'll talk to you guys in the same time while I kind of pack and go through the packing list here. But yeah, sorry, I'm about 23 minutes late coming on here. I said I would do this at 9. It's 9:23, but my mother-in-law made some scrambled eggs, and I had to sit down and eat some good breakfast before we get on the river, so it's more important. But anyways, hope you guys had a good New Year. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from, what state you're watching from if you choose to share that. And I'd love to know where our viewers are from. And yeah, it's just kind of cool to know. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that all the comments are visible here. If you guys can hear me, just do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And that way I can see you. Okay, Montana. Cindy says Montana. Very cool. I guess I have the chat thing off. I'm sorry about that. Welcome, Cindy. And are you a new subscriber to our channel? Are you recent? Or I'm yet to see your name that I'm aware of. And I'm sorry if I should have been familiar with your name, Cindy. But are you newish to the channel? And then ANR says London. Wow, so cool. Thank you for watching, ARN. Welcome. I'm tuning in from Florida, South Florida. So it's so cool to have somebody internationally here watching. But Cindy, yeah, if you just let me know, and ARN, would you just let me know, are you guys new subscribers to the channel? And if so, what brought you to our channel? Cindy says family, fairly recent, and love it. Awesome, Cindy. Well, thank you so much. What, Cindy, if you don't mind me asking, what initially lured you to our channel? What initially caught your attention, and how did you subscribe? And then Willis Wake says Atlanta, Georgia. Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. Got more people coming in here. So yeah, just for those who just now coming in, let me explain what we're doing here. Normally I do these coffee talks from my back porch and my balcony in my house up in Alabama, but now I'm in South Florida, and there's a body of water back here. Noah, my eldest son, and I are amateur adventurers. We are, yeah, I don't think it's gonna change. He's trying to adjust the camera. Oh, that's maybe a little better. We are, we're gonna embark in that body of water right there. I don't know if you can see, am I pointing at it? Body of water right there. Yeah, we're gonna set in that body of water with these 2 boats, and we're gonna spend the next 3 days traversing that body of water down to the ocean, and we're gonna make it all the way to a little place called Anna Maria Island. If you've ever heard of Anna Maria Island, or you can look it up on the maps, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm looking at making sure all the stuff is visible here. This is Coffee Talk 13, and she says, oh, for some reason the comments go away and I can't see them, they like vanish. But Cindy says, I love everything camping and outdoors. I love trying new things and getting new ideas. Awesome, Cindy. So yeah, that's what we're all about as well. So it seems like we're a pretty good fit in terms of what you like to watch and what we put out as a channel. So our family is a family of 5, and I have my wife of 15 years and 3 sons, and this is my eldest son, Noah. And maybe you guys have seen our recent 9-day adventure from our backyard in Alabama to the ocean. We paddled across the state of Florida, and it was quite the adventure. It was super cool. But yeah, so we're doing the same thing, but maybe a shorter version, and we're doing that. We're starting today, actually. So what I wanted to do is get my packing list here, and I've got in the Gator, I've got like all these camping supplies. So let's just go through. You guys want to go through this list together, and maybe we'll just do some packing, and I'll show you kind of what I do and how I pack it in these little boats here, and how we live out of these boats for several days. So somebody says, ARN, been subbed for a year, about a year, was looking for wasp killing videos and yours popped up. Yeah, Sweet Home Alabama. Yeah, that's awesome. That video is crazy. To give you a little backstory, I think you were in that video, right? To give you a little backstory, I had this wasp problem, and wasps hate me, and whenever I get within 20 foot of a wasp, they go out of their way to try to sting me. And hornets, wasps, yellow jackets, so everything tries to sting me. I'm not allergic or anything like that, it's just I hate the pain of a sting like that. So anyways, I found this really cheap, effective way of killing wasps, and it's just to add dish soap to water and then put it in a pump sprayer and spray down the wasp nest. And I was like, hey, I should make a YouTube video, or maybe my wife encouraged me to make a YouTube video about it. And so we put together a quick little video, and I tried to make it kind of funny. And that video has had like 600,000 views so far in the few years that it's been up there. It's really crazy. But yeah, it's drawn a lot of people to our channel, and it's really neat. So hopefully a lot of wasps have died because of that video. I don't know. I'd like to think. I hate wasps. I know they serve a purpose in God's green earth, but just I want them to keep their purpose away from my purpose. But anyways, welcome to the. I'm checking the mess here again. All right, so let's go through. Noah, do you want to be in charge of looking at comments that come through and anybody that has a question? Sometimes they pop up and then they go away. But I've got a leaf in my coffee, unfortunately. So what I do that's really helpful for me, because you know, packing for a trip like this, a multi-day over-the-water trip, is difficult to remember everything. So one of the things I do is I create a Google document, and that Google document, Cindy says, "Can you get rid of spiders too with that solution?" I think so, Cindy. I think so. I haven't tried it on spiders. I have less hatred for spiders than I do for wasps, but so I haven't tried it on spiders, but you might and see if it works. But anyways, I create a Google document, and the Google document looks like this. I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera, but it has all of the gear that I need to bring on this trip, and all the gear that we brought on the 9-day trip. So what I'm gonna do is go through, and maybe Noah will read off the items on the list, and then I'll hold them up, and then all you gotta do is hit the little box there and check off that we packed it, okay? So you guys can listen and see, maybe we'll chime in, but feel free to ask questions or put comments in the comment section. We'll do our best to watch those and look for those. If we miss a comment, yeah, it should be on all messages are visible.
Where is that?
Right there.
Okay.
If we miss one of your comments, we're really sorry. Just put it on there again and we'll see it. Just do it as many times. So we'll stop what we're doing and read the comments. So, all right, let's get to packing here.
So are you gonna show the item and I'm gonna check it off?
Yeah, what's the first one on your list?
Wool socks, blanket, sleeping
Whoa,
bag.
slow down. Wool socks. Thought I packed them.
Uh-oh. I have to go back from. It's not gonna be too cold.
No, it's fine. No, I know I packed them in the sleep bag, or in my clothing bag. Let me see if they're in here. So wool socks are actually really nice to have. Can you get rid of, oh, okay, never, it's the same comments. Wool socks are really nice to have. Here we go. I have these wool socks. It's supposed to get down in the 40s at night here in the next couple days. And, you know, when you're sleeping and you don't have socks on, like we typically just wear flip-flops on these trips, but at night, especially in the mornings when you're wearing these, it's so much better. So check that off.
Ding. Nice.
What's the next thing?
Blanket and sleeping bag.
Okay, I got the sleeping bag I'm going to use on this trip is a little bit different than the one we used on the 9-day trip. The sleeping bag that I'm going to use on this one is actually this Gore-Tex shell. It's a bivy thing. It's actually issued by the U.S. Army, but it's kind of old by now. And then we've got this insert that goes inside. And so what I do is I put myself in this green insert, and it's rated to like 50 degrees or something. I forget what it's rated to. And then I put this Gore-Tex waterproof shell around that. So you can just lay out on the ground in the middle of a downpour, and this will keep you dry. But that's what I'm going to be using on this trip. It's my favorite sleeping bag. It's actually a 3-part sleep system that's issued by the U.S. Army. It comes with another layer, but I'm not going to bring that with me on this one. We got that, and Noah, this is yours. We need to put that in a dry bag, but I'll put that over there. What else is on our list? Let me see if there's any comments coming in.
So we got pillow.
All messages. Okay.
Pillow. So.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is kind of a controversial item here, but the pillow is really important when you're camping, and for me it is anyways. What I do is I just try to compress all the air out of it, and I stuff it down in a dry bag. But when you're doing these long trips like this, it's important that you get a good night's sleep, because sleep is what gets you the energy that you need to drive on throughout the day. Are you bringing a pillow?
I think I'm gonna go with
Okay.
So, yeah.
If you watched our 9-day adventure down the Choctawhatchee River, we actually stopped one day and walked a mile inland and into a little town called Caryville. We stopped at a Dollar General and bought Noah a pillow because he was suffering from a lack of a pillow. But I've slept on the ground many a times in my life, and having a pillow is just a wonderful thing if you can afford it. You can afford the weight and the space, and in our boats we can. So what I do, I put it in these dry bags and I compress all the air out of it like this. And I quickly roll it up before it fills back with air. Like this right here. So look at there. In this little compartment, I have a very comfy, very clean pillow, and that's gonna help me tremendously in terms of sleeping. So check, we got that. What else?
Food and water. So water.
So in this bag, I went ahead and pre-arranged all my meals. Noah has a bag just like it.
Right there, yeah.
So we have designated food bags that are these dry bags like this. So in here, ignore this, there's no drone in there, but in here there's 3 days worth of food for me.
Got pasta packets, tuna packets, instant oatmeal, bars, water, and bottled water.
Okay, so in here we have 3 days worth of food, protein, carbohydrates, fresh fruit, and then we've got water as well. So, you know, this is nice. A lot of this can just be cooked over our little cook stove. So check on that. We got water.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing with water, typically what we do on these trips is we bring filters, because with the filter you can you don't have to lug all your own. Does your wife and other kids do adventures too? They do, but much shorter. So, for instance, my middle son Eli, he might spend the day with me today kayaking. We may have a third kayak, and then he's going to get picked up about 5 or 6 hours into the trip, and he's not going to spend the night. But he has done overnight trips with me. The whole family has done day trips, but
3 nights at the most.
Eli?
3 days. Yeah.
I think Eli's just done one night. So yeah, they'll do trips with us, like camping trips, but not this intense yet.
I'm trying to think. He did that one with Anthony.
Yeah, that was just a one-nighter.
Oh.
But here, what we typically do is have filters for water, so that way we don't have to carry 8 pounds. This is 8 pounds of water here. But we don't have to carry this, but because we're going in this body of water, because it's close to the ocean, sort of, the tide is going to start coming in this afternoon, and the water is going to turn brackish, which means that it has a salt content to it, which means we can't run it through the filters. So we have to bring our own water. And just so you know, a human uses, whether drinking, washing hands, brushing teeth, cooking, a human consumes about 1 gallon of water per day, is what you kind of want to think when you're packing for a trip like this. So we're estimating about 3 days that will be out on the water. So we're each going to pack 3 gallons of water. And these are 8 pounds each, so that's 24 pounds of water, unfortunately. What's next on your list?
I think for 3 days, 2 water. But that's just me. And bring a filter. But if you're somewhere like here, just 3 days, 3 gallons.
Yeah.
Because it's
See,
gonna
I
be
always
worth
like to play it safe because it's better. It's always better to have too much water than too little. But hey, guys that are coming in and watching, just let me know in the comments where you're watching from, what state you're watching from, what country you're watching from. Would really appreciate it. Just put it in the comments and we'll read it out. But all right, what's next on your list?
life jacket.
Life jackets. We'll come back to that because I don't know where those are.
They're right there. Well,
Oh, those are
like-
the seats. I don't think these are going to count.
No, they said they were personal flotation.
Yeah, I'll have to ask. I don't know. I'll look it up. All right.
Use a jet boil.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me show. So Cindy, that's a really good question. I don't know how hard it's going to be to dig this out of here. It's not really a jet boil, so to speak. Like you would see
It's like a little
these people on Mount Everest using.
propane
Here, I'll show
thing.
real fast. Okay, so this is the first component here, is this butane propane mixture tank, and then a Coleman Max stove that opens up like this. So you just simply screw this down on top, and you expand these out all the way. Then you take a lighter, you turn the gas on, you light it, and then you couple it with this thing right here, which I don't think we've washed this since the last trip. You take this right here and you set it on top. But this is our cook pot, and this is the only cook pot we bring with us because it serves the needs of 2 people just fine. It's got a little lid on there. It's got a strainer lid, but it's nice because nested inside are these cups, and so you can eat out of these cups. You don't want to boil water, obviously, with these cups in there. But and then I'll set that on top. Nested on the outside of that, I've got too much stuff in my hands. I've got this thing right here, this cup. So just like that. Then I have a cup, a pot, 2 cups inside. It's light, it takes up very little room, and it's the most effective way of cooking on the river I've ever found so far. But yeah, it works. Very good question. Thank you. Okay, what's next on the list?
Sunscreen and bug repellent. Sunscreen and bug repellent.
Let me just dump all this out here.
Those are pretty important, especially.
Sunscreen,
And uh-oh. Right, there we go.
bug repellent.
Meek.
All right, check that off.
See that?
Go to the next thing.
Just tiny one. Okay, let's see. Change of clothes.
I've got that.
That's a big one.
So for change of clothes, it's really simple. It's really gross. All I bring is a clean t-shirt, and that's it. Yeah, so I mean, we like bathe in the water. We bathe in the river. You can do laundry in the river. You just kind of like take your clothes and slosh them around or tie them to the back of your boat and drag them for a couple miles. And it washes all the sweat and crud out. Then you just hang it up on the back of your boat to dry. One thing I do like to have on these trips though is a long sleeve hooded shirt like this right here. Because when you're under a lot of sun and everything, this hood is amazing for the back of your neck. But long sleeves are really important too in the sun, especially out here in Florida. All right, what's next?
Headlamp. Headlamp. Wow. Okay. Handy for if you want to paddle at night.
Headlamp, rechargeable headlamp. Check.
All right. 1 second. Toilet paper. Uh-oh.
We're a little bit on the low side. Toilet paper, check.
Yeah. So tiny. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Check. Fork.
Okay. I have 2 different forks. This one, and then we've got this foldable one, which you can use, I guess, because you forgot your black one. But this is a like a pocket knife style one that folds out. So you got all that. And you've got spoon. And you've got an actual blade.
You got a little
Corkscrew.
corkscrew.
So this will be Noah's on the trip. Just don't drop it because it'll sink. Next.
Fishing equipment.
cross that off, or check it off, because
Not always, not always.
we don't have a Florida fishing license.
Tent.
Okay, tent is an interesting story. I actually forgot our tent at home, and then I was digging through some storage with my mother-in-law, and I found this one that I'd bought in 2013. I bought this tent off of Amazon for $20. And this is actually going to be the subject of a whole nother video that is birthed out of this trip, where we're going to actually test out the cheapest tent on Amazon on this trip. This is the cheapest tent on Amazon. I bought it in 2013 for $20. It's never been used. It's been sitting in a storage container. We're going to try it out and see how it goes. But yeah, I left my nice tent, my River Country Products tent at home, so this is what it is, $20. Let's see how it does.
Comes with tent poles and everything.
It's
really
actually
light.
Yeah, it is light. It's actually like, how much? 3.5 pounds it weighs. So we'll put this in a dry bag and then strap it to the back of our boat. So what's the next one? Check it off.
Sleeping bag, which we already did.
Yeah.
Or sleeping pad. Sleeping
Okay.
pad is next.
So I've got these 3 sleeping pads. And the reason why we're going to bring 3 and maybe even 4 is because sometimes these spring a leak. And
Sleeping go.
yeah, these are made by Sleeping Go, and you can buy these in my Amazon influencer page down there. But these, it's kind of like having an extra paddle with you. You never know if you're going to lose it, but you never know if you're going to wake up and these things are completely flat. They're very lightweight, but they're also very fragile and sensitive to things that are under you, under the ground. So what I actually do is I inflate this mattress, and then I put this under my hips. You know, like I put it under my butt, or like I sleep on my side, I put it on my hip, and then I put the mattress on top of this, and it kind of helps. It kind of helps add comfort, but also it protects this from getting any sticks poking holes in or anything. So we bring it extra. But anyways, check that off your list.
Okay. Tarp / rainfly.
Okay, I use this rainfly right here by rainflyevolution.com. This is again is in my Amazon influencer page, but it's a great rainfly. I love this rainfly. It's made for hammock camping, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to take it and drape it over our tent. It adds extra camouflage and concealment because we're going to be doing a degree of what we would call stealth camping, but also adds insulation for when it gets chilly at night. So this is good.
All right. Next is a flip phone.
You want to make my shirt wet?
Oh man, I'm sorry. Flip phone, cross it off because I didn't bring it.
Okay. So
But we try to have a flip phone with us as well as our smartphone, because in case my smartphone gets damaged or the battery can't charge, or if I'm in a place where the cell towers are different than what my smartphone uses, the flip phone is like a backup emergency phone.
okay. Next is 4 Patriot battery banks. 3 or 4.
I've got those.
3 or 4. Those are really handy.
So this is my little electronics dry bag where I put everything. And if you guys have any questions, like I said, just put it in the comments and we'll be happy to answer those. But this is hit all messages are visible. This little dry bag right here is my electronics dry bag, and it says batteries on it. This is made by Unigear. I love these dry bags. But in here I've got all my electronics. I've got everything from charging cables to battery banks to AirPods, and I'll put my smartphone in here as well, my iPhone in here. So yeah, check. Got all that.
All right. Charging cord. Yeah.
Got it.
Toothbrush and toothpaste.
Yeah, I got that.
Nice. Checking off.
Toothbrush, toothpaste. All right, what's next?
Solar panel.
Okay, yeah. So this is my bread and butter right here. This is Rock Pal's foldable solar panel. You see it has like 4 different panels that are folded into itself. And you can charge USB devices with this. And I think it's 100 watts if I'm not mistaken. But in here, we keep different things like, here's our Bluetooth speaker so we can listen to music while we're paddling. But yeah, so I just unfold this. If you saw our 9-day adventure, I relied heavily on this. I just unfold it on the bow of the boat and charge devices while we're paddling.
Right there.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
All right. One second. Drone.
Got the drone.
That's very important if you're filming.
Yeah. So one of the things, Cindy has a question. Are your boys doing Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts, or are you teaching them the outdoors? No, they're not doing Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts. I mean, those are really cool programs, don't get me wrong, but they are just kind of learning the outdoors through me teaching them how to navigate through the outdoors, going camping, doing a lot of outdoor stuff as a family. We're just really big into that, and a lot of our friends are as well, so they just kind of learn through osmosis. But yeah, so they, you know, by the age of 9, they should know how to start a fire with a ferro rod, that kind of stuff, and they all have their own knives, and you know, they learn how to use those sorts of things, but that's mainly through us teaching them and instructing them how to do that. Just some good man skills, so yeah, it is awesome. So the drone I use is a Mavic Air 2, and I have this case right here, and I am a licensed drone pilot through the FAA. I'm a commercial drone pilot. What that allows me to do is to take video and photos from the air using an unmanned aerial system like this, and I can use those photos and videos to put into YouTube videos or do real estate photography. I actually just recently started a drone photography business called Circle City Aerial Photography. But anyways, here's the drone, and I keep it in this Pelican case, or knockoff Pelican case, that is allegedly waterproof, supposedly waterproof, and it locks down. But then I put a dry bag over top of this. But this is what, if you watched our 9-day adventure, I took lots of drone footage, and it really makes the trip for me to be able to see above the tree line. I can actually do aerial reconnaissance and find camping spots using my drone, but also I can take some very beautiful video and photos using this. So you'll see drone footage in this trip that we're about to do for sure. What else?
Knife.
Got a knife.
Right here.
Yeah, you can show that one. But...
Okay. So this is one that we torture tested. And this is just a new one. So it's really nice.
Yeah, so I torture tested that knife. It's a $10 Walmart knife. And a couple of videos ago, we torture tested this and just destroyed 2 of them, actually. But he's bringing that on the trip. I'm just bringing a simple little foldable Gerber knife, and that's it.
Solid.
Next one.
Okay. Pot metal mug. We already did that.
Yeah.
Lighters or fire starter.
That, okay. I've got this. We might need to bring one more just as backup.
I think I have one in my fanny pack.
Okay. What's next? I'll do that while you read.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's see. Cook, stove, and fuel. Yes. Flares.
Okay. So let's talk about emergency real fast. If we get in an emergency and we need immediate medical assistance, we'll obviously call. But if they have to helivac us out, then we have these pin flares that we can shoot up in the sky. And these are what Army pilots use. But, you know, this will notify them of our location. If it's something like we're waiting a long time, we actually have a strobe. And this is an emergency strobe, a military surplus strobe that can blink for, you know, days and days. And then lastly, I like to bring emergency smoke. It's a smoke signal. So it's green and red. Oh, this is a flare on this side. So this is just in the event we get an emergency. So it's good to have. All right, next one.
Let me go down here. Toothbrush. Yes, we already did that. First aid.
I don't have any first aid stuff. So leave that unchecked. We need to pack some stuff. At least like headache medicine and stuff like that.
I have some in my fanny pack.
Okay. All right. What else you got?
Sugar for coffee.
I don't have sugar for coffee, so leave that unchecked.
Okay. Coffee.
Okay. Where'd it go? If you watched our 9-day adventure, I suffered from coffee withdrawals in the first couple days in, and I didn't have good coffee with me. I had like cheap instant coffee. Well, this trip's gonna be different, y'all. I've got some French press action going on here. and I've got some coffee grounds. I think this is, hi guys, oh, Mrs. B, hey, what's up? How's it going? We're packing for our trip here. And, but yeah, this is gonna be my coffee setup for this trip. And I am not gonna suffer and go through those withdrawals anymore, hopefully on this trip, but I have all that right there. Go ahead, what's the next thing?
Canteen. So I've got Army issued this, that thing. And inside, I'm gonna set the phone down. Inside, you unclip these, and it opens up like that. And then this is the actual water holder. And then inside, there is a pot with, like, it's a cup / pot with 2 handles.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very handy too. So
and I just use a TAL water bottle, TAL, I'm not sure, and I just had that full of water. But these are really handy to have around. So Cindy, I missed a question. She said you remembered coffee, but but no first aid. Yes, that's how we roll. Yeah, very much. Mrs. B says I'll have to go back and catch up on the live I missed. Y'all heading out today? Yes, we are. We're heading out here in about an hour, actually. We think we're going to be on the water for about 3 days. So, all right, Noah, let's go back to our list here. What we're doing is we're just packing live. We're getting towards the end of our list, fortunately. Canteen, check. And I'm using a Google Doc that is on Stacy's phone, and that's where our list is. So last thing we need is camera tripod. The camera tripod is in use right now. So we just need to get like sugar for coffee. We need to get first aid, life jackets. 2 life jackets, yeah.
No, 3.
Anything else? You need to get a pillow. So tonight we're hoping to make it almost to I-75. So what you can do is you can Google on Google Maps Manatee River and look at where it goes under I-75. We're going to be in between the city of Palmetto and the city of Bradenton, Florida. And we're going to camp somewhere around there. This trip is going to be totally different than our 9-day trip. It's going to be shorter, first of all, but it's going to present a whole different set of challenges. For instance, the areas where we're going to be paddling are highly populated areas. Lots and lots of people, lots and lots of houses. Right here, the first day of paddling is going to be very unpopulated, but the next 2 days after that are going to be highly populated. So finding a camp spot is going to be difficult, and not getting arrested. Things just like using the bathroom, cooking food, having a quiet place to sleep, like without a lot of light pollution. Those are going to be some challenges that are going to face on the next couple days that we didn't face on our 9-day trip, because on our 9-day trip, we probably counted 20 people on the river in 8.5 days, in 9 days, 20 people on the river. It was very unpopulated, and it was no problem finding a place to sleep at night. In fact, it was spooky at times how remote we were. This trip's going to be totally different. This trip is going to be in saltwater, primarily done in saltwater, whereas our last trip, our 8.5 or 9-day trip, was all freshwater. So totally different. We're going to be looking at having to watch out for stingrays in the water, and different kinds of fish or whatever. There might even be like nurse sharks or things like that in the water. Whereas our other trip, we primarily had to look out for, you know, big alligator gar or big alligators or
Fish.
yeah, just stuff like that, sturgeon. But this trip will have alligators, although it's winter, so they're probably kind of hibernating right now. But this trip will have alligators, but we do have to still look out for snakes and that sorts of things. But yeah, so it's a whole different set of challenges that we're going to face on this trip. But well, guys, I'm going to wrap this up, I think, because we need to get on the water here soon. But do you guys have any questions for us and the trip that we're about to embark on? Let me make sure I can see all your chat. So we're going to start right here in my in-laws' backyard. Their house is like right there. I don't want to show it because of, you know, I want to respect their privacy. But this is the creek, and this is Gamble Creek, and it flows probably about 10 miles if I had to guess, and it hits the Manatee River, and then the Manatee River eventually hits, well, I guess Tampa Bay, and then that eventually hits the ocean. So hopefully about 3 days from now, we'll be at the ocean. We're going to try to make it to a little place called Anna Maria Island, and more specifically, there's a little island off of that island called Passage Key, and we might try to make it to that. But then we're going to celebrate the ending of the trip at a restaurant called Rod and Reel Pier Restaurant. And so hopefully the whole family will come out and we'll eat dinner there together. So Cindy says, have a safe trip. I'll be looking forward to hearing how it's going. Thank you, Cindy. We'll probably do some live stuff on the water as well, maybe tonight when we get set up with camp and everything. So we're not sure where we're sleeping tonight. We may sleep at the end of someone's dock. We have a friend of a friend who has a house on the water, and they have a big dock that goes out into the water. So we may be setting up camp at the end of that dock, but we'll see if we can make it that far today. It's kind of pushing it if we get there today. So but there's another island that we might be sleeping on if we don't hit that far yet. But yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of island camping, I think, on this one. So lots of islands. But all right, guys, we will see you on the water. Thanks so much for watching this Coffee Talk 13. I hope you have a wonderful new year. And we have lots of adventures and memories in store for you on our YouTube channel this coming year. So stick around and enjoy the adventure. See you guys.
All right, how do I?
I think you hit that X right there.